break, time for us to go into our second conversation for this Thursday morning. Of course, you know that the rains are going away now, and of course, the Harmattan season is drawing closer. And when that happens, a lot of fire incidents are recorded, especially here in Nigeria, and they become not just rampant in the forested areas, but also in urban centers, markets. Let me be specific about that, because over the last several years now, we've seen several market fires, most of which are uninsured, leading to huge losses on the part of traders in those markets. And that's why we have asked the first Nigerian who designed and built the first Nigerian-made mini fire truck to join in to speak to us about the issues, of course, what they are as Harmattan comes in. Fidelis Omodu is here. He's the CEO of Fincolum Ventures Limited. He's also an occupational health, safety, and fire protection consultant. Good morning, Fidelis.
Good morning, Mr. Kunle. Good morning, Nigerians. Good
to see you. Now, fire at this time of the year, as the rains go away and everything dries up under the intense heat of the sun, we've had governments talking about avoiding bush burning and things like that. Let's start from there. What do Nigerians need to do? Luckily, we do not have huge forest fires like they do have in other climes, like in the US or in Canada or Australia. But what should Nigerians be looking at now that the rains are going away and the vegetation will be drying up?
Very correct. We are actually entering that period, going into November, which is just tomorrow. At the end of November to March, we're expected to see hazy atmosphere where there will be dry wind that could easily lead to fire at every slightest ignition. So that implies that Nigerians need to be very careful. And then looking at the markets specifically, because we are all directly affected when there is fire outbreak in the market. We have recorded it from time to time, back to back. And so the government is trying their best, but their best doesn't seem to be good enough. So it is expected that at this time, business owners, market traders should be extra careful. In the market, a lot of activities goes on. People store combustible materials, inflammable materials, all in a bid to do business, especially now that the fuel has become something else. Apart from its expensive nature, it has become a scarce commodity that people have to store it. People have to do everything to keep it, because the inconsistency of what is happening in the system can make them to start running. We are getting to December. It is no longer news in this country that when we are approaching the end of the year, there will be scarcity of fuel, precisely petroleum, which is a very integral part of doing business, power, to generate power. So it is important that we need to know that avoiding areas where there will be fire outbreak that will make people lose their life investment, where they may not recover from. Some people even had to commit suicide in the process because something they have been doing all their lives, all their capital. They probably have borrowed money, taking loans from the bank. And at the end of the day, it just goes out. Before you wake up, before your eyes, it's gone. It's worse than security issue. Security issue, there will be pockets of defensive mechanism. But when it comes to fire, the moment it starts, before you know it, within the twinkle of an eye, it's gone. Everything is gone. And you have to start from square one. That is if you even have what it takes to start. So I, as a person, designed a concept, tree plants, where the crown of the tree is occupied by the federal, state, local government that are making regulations and policies as regards fire prevention and protection in the country. And then the stem of that tree is occupied by the government agencies whose primary responsibilities is to prevent and fight fire. The government agencies, MDAs, ministry, department, and agencies, for example, the federal and state fire service. That is their responsibility to prevent and fight fire. And then we come to the root aspect of the plant tree that is occupied by the masses, people that are doing their business innocently. This is where it happens. And then we're talking about market fire. When there is market fire, the next thing is it is expected that the federal, the government agencies at the middle should come. But in this case, there is a vacuum, a very big vacuum. When there is fire outbreak, you begin to expect them to come. They have their own challenges, no doubt. They are constrained by the available equipment. The piece of equipment called fire appliance, very expensive to bring it to this country. And so, for them to get to that place, a lot of damage. Every second counts. Before they get there, the damages will have been done. When fire starts at the ECPN stage, you are supposed to tackle it with the aid of a portable fire extinguisher. Do they have them available? Do people know how to use it? That is the big question.
Now, let me ask you this, because you mentioned fire extinguishers
Yes.
now, and we're talking about marketplace fires, shopping malls, even the traditional markets that are largely unplanned and all of that. But when you talk about fire extinguishers, how many Nigerians do understand the necessity of not just having the fire extinguishers, but also keeping them in good order so that when the need, or if the need arises, those fire extinguishers are functional?
Interesting. There is gazetted report as regards that, at the illiteracy level, as regards the use of portable fire extinguisher is very high. Some persons may even have it around them, they don't know how to use it. And so that is where it starts. If we ask ourselves, it starts from the family, it starts from the community, it goes to the society and a country at large. If within your home, a man could spend millions of naira to build high Castro building without fire preventive measures, he is not even thinking that someday that there could be fire. What does it do? And it is happening every day. We still are victim of it.
Okay, Fidelis, let me ask you to hold on that, and let's talk about something that is even more interesting, because I understand you have a working arrangement
Yes.
with the Ado-Ota local government area,
Yes.
local government council
Yes.
in Ogun State. What's that about?
We have, at the moment, we have reached an agreement, MOUs, agreements signed by the various parties, the market managers, the local government, and my company, Fincolon Ventures Limited, to take care of all their market under the local government. And so, interestingly, that brought about I, as a Nigerian, thinking, because one of the measures that needs to be in place is to have fire truck to be on ground. I have always said that for you to tackle fire outbreak, for you to take care of the issue of fire in this country, there has to be fire service brought to the location of expected fire incident. And that is exactly what I have done. When I saw the cost implication, I had to think as a professional, what do I do differently? That was how the concept came in, for me to design and build the first Nigerian-made mini fire truck. As it stands, it's all over. It's been tested and everything. And before this year end, by this November, December, I'm expected to start the project. But first of all, I also had a plan, a structure to train firefighters, to train young Nigerians to become firefighters, because that is where it starts. This piece of equipment will be on ground. There will be monitoring of the market activities 24/7, and then equipment will be on ground. The firemen will be on ground, changing shift. That is the way. When there is a smoky situation, there's a fire incident, it is tackled at the ECPN stage. You might have that piece of equipment, fire appliance, in that market. You may not even use for the next 10 years, because fire always starts at the ECPN stage. So this is the arrangement. So it is an opportunity for Nigerians to key into it, because it's also meant to create job, because we have the challenge of unemployment in the country. So it's also meant to employ people. So when you look at the existing structure, we have 774 local governments. By the last count, the number of fire stations in the country is about 171. If you put that into consideration, even if you have a fire station per local government, it is not enough to take care of the issue of fire. We know the challenges of Nigerian road network. If there's fire incident, maybe at an odd time, how do the vehicle get to that place without traffic situation? Are they even in a position to do that? So that is why you see when there's fire incident in market, it gets out of hand and it is miserable.
Now, you talked about this mini fire truck.
Yeah.
What about water in these markets?
Of course, the plan is a complete package. If there is no borehole in the market, we are meant to put, it's part of the package, we will dig, we will install borehole system, overhead tank, that will be a source of supply of water. So that is a very important aspect of the package of this market fire safety. And then we have plans to create awareness by drills, carrying out simulations of the traders and business owners in the market. That awareness will enable them understand what it means to prevent fire in whatever they do, even beyond the market, at home, wherever they go. That will change their concept that indeed there's a lot you need to know about fire prevention. So while we occupy the market, we're on ground, we create that awareness, do the demonstration, they are understanding knowledge about fire prevention and what to do should it happen increases. So this is a complete package, bringing fire stations. So by implication, Fincolon Ventures Limited is the first private fire station operating under Adodota local government area in Nigeria. Okay. And I'll be proud to say that anytime, any day, that this is the way to go, because government cannot do it alone.
All by itself.
It cannot do it all by itself.
Fidelis, you talked about training firemen.
Yes.
Now, when you talked about training firemen, what exactly do you mean? Do you have a training going on now?
There's a training that is coming up on the 18th to 29th of November. It is already gazetted. It's all over, where Nigerians are expected to take advantage. Young Nigerians, you don't need to be idle. This is part of what I did to add value to the system, because we need to have our own structure. Professional firefighters, they are either with the government or with multinational organizations. They are scarce. You don't easily see them. So we have what it takes, the equipment at this level, to carry out that training for young Nigerians to become professionals. We call them complementary professional firefighters. Okay. They are meant to complement
where is it holding?
Agency saddled with the responsibility of fighting fire is meant to do.
Where's the training holding?
It's holding at Adodota local government secretariat.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, Fidelis, for coming on to speak to us this morning. Fidelis Omodu has joined me to talk about fire incidents in marketplaces and how to control them. Fidelis is the CEO of Fincolon Ventures Limited. It's an occupational health, safety, and fire protection consultant. Thank you so much,
Thank
Fidelis.
You, sir.